What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Brian. I'm a software developer who currently works making iPhone apps. I make a single iPhone app for a company. We don't make like a bunch, but I do a bunch of apps on the side. If you haven't seen, I actually have a fitness app that I made. I don't know where the pop-up thing is, but I'll link to that video because it got like no views, but it's there if you want to go see it. Anyways, this video is going to be about how I got my first job, or like my first step into the software development world, how I was able to actually get a job here in Austin, Texas that would pay me to do the software stuff instead of just doing it for free like I had been doing for a long time. This also isn't very like scripted. Normally for like my keyboard reviews or like that kind of stuff, I'll make like a full review guide about like all the points and all that stuff. And I have like a few points here, but I kind of just bulleted my life. Like one of these lines is transferred to college. So I apologize if this is kind of all over the place. I'm going to try to keep it on track with these notes, but let's just start from the very top. I'm going to start a little bit early in my life. I'm going to start when I was 10 years old, and I don't know why, but when I was 10, I basically wanted to be a programmer already. It's literally, ever since I can remember anything I've wanted to do, it's been software development. And I think this is in part because my dad has been in tech literally ever since I've been a kid. So I've always kind of modeled what I was going to do after what he did, and programming seemed fun to me. So I just kind of started going down that route. And so yeah, about 10 years old, I started programming. And by programming, I mean like I had like those drag and drop like programming games on my computer, or actually it was like one of those big beefy desktops back then because like laptops and things weren't really that common. But yeah, so I had one of those like drag and drop game programming things. And then when I was about 12, I was enamored by Halo 3. Halo 3 to this day is amazing. The Halo series is amazing, but Halo 3 made me be like, I want to be a game developer. So I took a course at my community college that was a game development course for young people, young kids. It was more people than kids, but yeah, young people. And this course basically used, what was that one game development tool? Was it just called Game Maker? It's called Game Maker. So it was in Game Maker, and we made like a shooting 2D game or something in there. It was like a week or two long class or something. But yeah, I took a class at my community college, like local community college, when I was 12 to learn how to do game development. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do with my life. I'm going to be a game developer. And then did nothing with it until college. And the reason for that is because game development, if you guys don't know, is actually like super hard. Like they work extremely long hours. There's a lot of pressure to get deadlines done. Like it's actually a very intense area. Even like the conceptual stuff behind it, like the interview process, because you have to know physics, you have to know 3D space, you have to know that kind of stuff. It just like didn't interest me anymore. I kind of realized I just liked playing video games more than I wanted to make the video games, so I just didn't do that. But I did publish my first app my freshman year of community college, which was a game called Rapid Lines. And the general idea was there were 3 lines on the screen, and then shapes would drop down. Well, shapes, either a square or a circle would drop down from the top and come down. And then at the bottom, you had 3 buttons, like a button at the end of each line that you could tap. And when you tapped it, it changed the button from either a circle or a square. And then you were supposed to match it with the falling icon. And then as like the game went on, the icons got faster and faster. I thought it was a pretty fun game. I didn't know too much about like development at that time. That was made in Unity. And that was my freshman year of college. So I think I was like 18 or 17 or something. I don't really know how old I was at that time, to be honest. But it was like 18 or 17. And then I transferred out of that college into a real 4-year college. Not that community colleges aren't real. I promise. If you want to save money, go to community college. It's a great opportunity to save money. Don't do what I did and transfer after a year, because you lose all your scholarships on both ends and you don't save any money. But I transferred to a 4-year college, and this college is kind of where my journey actually begins about how I got my first job, because I found out about entrepreneurship. And it sounds dumb to say like I found out about entrepreneurship. This was like 4 years ago. For some reason, this world wasn't really like big to me at the time. I didn't know anything about it. And now it's like everything I ever want to do is own my own business. But I found out about entrepreneurship because of a class that I was forced to take. It was like a requirement. It was a required class. And my professor told me about this thing that we did that was basically a Shark Tank pitch competition at my college. They gave away real money, like literally, I think the total prize amounts were like $100,000 each year that they did it. So it was like real money. The top prize was $30,000, like cash, like they just deposit it to your account, cash. So I was like, I like cash. I want to do that. And we started working. By we, I mean me and my girlfriend. We came up with this idea for a campus college safety app that we thought was the best thing ever since sliced bread, until you realize that universities just don't want to spend any of the millions and millions and millions of dollars that they have. And then they just want to ask you for donations. And then, so back to this competition. The main idea behind this competition was you worked for the whole entire year. A month before the year ended, or like the semester, you would compete in this competition that was a day long. It was a really long thing, 3 rounds. If you made it to the 3rd round, you were in the finals, and you would win at least $5,000 if you were in the finals. So we start preparing for this competition. We start working. I start developing a prototype of the app. This was my first like real intro to app development in terms of iPhones. And looking back at the stuff I did then, it was just awful. Like just so bad, it's like embarrassing to look at, but it's kind of cool to see how far I've come. So I started working on the prototype of the safety app, and honestly, like everything was going super well. We had great ideas. We were actually talking to people in the university, getting their feedback, that kind of stuff. Then the people running the competition got to the part of the preparing stage where you basically had to go find a mentor. And it wasn't just like on your own, you had to go find a mentor, somebody you knew. They actually brought in people that were industry leaders who, everything from like farming to technology to auto stuff, like just tons of different people from the industry that were actually graduates of our school. Everybody was introducing themselves, like all the mentors stood up and introduced themselves, and each mentor could like have a few different teams, so it wasn't super competitive to get someone. But this guy stood up and he goes, yeah, I own this tech company, and we do do all this really cool stuff with devices, and I don't want to be like too specific because I don't want to like put him on blast here. But anyways, we basically like made a beeline for this guy. We were like, that guy right there is who we want, and we went for it. So we met this guy, and he is to this day like an awesome guy, super nice friend, really cool mentor, really cool businessman. So he basically mentored us all the way to the end of the competition, where we ended up winning a lot of money. Side note, I'm trying to make this video a little bit shorter. I don't like sitting through a lot of videos where people talk about their lives, but it's like a 25-minute long video. So hopefully I'm not like, pushing through this too fast. I'm just trying to give you like a general idea. So we ended up winning a lot of money. Like I said, we won $11,250 in this competition. We lost because the guy who won first place said he had a prototype working, like a working prototype, but he actually lied and he didn't. So yeah, that was cool. Yeah, so we won $11,250 there, and then in another competition, another pitch one, we won another $5,000. So total, we won like $16,250 for this safety company. From there, like I really wanted to take this company and start it and make it into a real thing. We did spend a lot of time in our senior year, like literally going to 15 different colleges, sending out emails, having meetings, all these different things, and no colleges would bite. All of them said that they'd absolutely love to have it, but we'd have to find a way to make like the students pay for it, but they wouldn't help us make the students pay for it by like raising tuition or adding a fee or like an optional thing. Like they just didn't want to help at all. They just wanted it for themselves, but they didn't want to pay for it. This isn't really working. We're probably both gonna have to get normal jobs. So what do we do? So I reach out to my mentor and I'm like, hey man, like I know you own like this company. It doesn't really have to do with apps. There's no like iPhone app that they have, but I'm willing to learn. What can I do? What can I do to help? Like, if you need anybody, I'm there. Basically like begging this guy for a job. He was like, actually, we have an app down in Austin, because his company's based out of Atlanta. He's like, we have an app down in Austin. Like there's an iPhone version of it, and they're hiring right now if you want to get hired as a junior developer. I was like, that's awesome. And he was like, I'm not going to promise you anything, but here is my CTO's contact information. He runs the app down in Austin because the CTO for that company actually lives here. And I was like, sweet, let's do it. So I basically like scheduled a flight to come down here solely for the reason of meeting the CTO. We met at a coffee shop. We had a great conversation, talked about goals of the business, talked about like what my experience, that kind of stuff. This is where I got extremely lucky, and I want to make a point here. I got lucky, and I know I got lucky because I did not have to do a programming interview.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Granted, I was a junior developer, so the programming interview probably would not have been super intense, But I am so thankful that I did not have to do it, because my code back then was just garbage. Like, all of the stuff I wrote before I got my job is embarrassing, and I'm very grateful I didn't have to do an interview. If you do have to do coding interviews, just prepare. A lot of them suck. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, a lot of them are hypothetical garbage that doesn't make any sense.
We need you to draw 7 red lines, all of them strictly perpendicular, some with green ink and some with transparent. Can you do that?
No, I'm afraid...
Let's not rush into any hasty answers, Anderson.
And you really should never have to do them. But for some reason, people think solving a reverse linked list problem is more important than actually implementing a useful feature. So just prepare for that. And I apologize if you have to do coding interviews. They suck. But anyways, I met this guy at a coffee shop. We had a nice conversation. We talked, blah, blah, blah. And he basically, like, on the spot, he was like, cool, I like you. How much do you want to be paid? And I threw out a number, and he was like, okay, yeah, we can work with that. And then, we negotiated, and basically he was like, okay, cool, when can you start? And I was like, well, I'm still in college. I graduate in 2 months. So in 2 months, I guess. So they shipped me my computer. I started working a little bit right after I graduated. And then I moved down here about 2 months after I graduated. So I graduated college and then moved down to Austin within 2 months, when I had zero plans to move 6 months before that. So I literally had no plans to move here at all, to leave Michigan. And I did. I left like that, started a new job, and I'm still there today. But I will say, if you want to take anything away from this video, the main topic is make connections. Your network is the most valuable thing you have. People in your network, if they know you, you've done something for them, you've met them, you've conversed with them, you have cool relationships with them, they're more inclined to help you do things. I know enough people nowadays where I could go be a contractor for a long time and not have to worry about a full-time job, just because I'd be able to bounce between different people that I know and I'm able to do work for. And even if I did have to get another full-time job, I know enough people where I could reach out, make connections, and have them introduce me to more people who could potentially get me a job. So I would say, like, the number one thing, it doesn't matter how smart you are, how good you are at your job. I mean, if you went from, like, my sister who goes, like, MIT, like, she's probably going to get offered a job before she even asks for one. But if you're like a normal person like me, a network is the most valuable thing you can have. It's going to get you so far in life. I can't emphasize that enough. Like, my life has become entrepreneurship. Like, that's what I want to do. And software basically enables me to do that. But my network enables me to do everything else that I want to do. It helps me meet people. It helps me get jobs. It helps me sustain my life. Your network is going to be the most valuable thing you have. So please, I know it's really hard. A lot of people who are in software engineering are definitely not the most sociable people. Try your best. Go to, literally, even if it's like going to like engineering competitions, like I did a couple of those in college and met some cool people. Do things that you're comfortable with, but that also allow you to meet people, because those people are going to be the ones that help you get jobs later in life. I promise you that. All right, I'm looking at the time. I'm at 15 minutes already. I'm sorry, I went over. I was trying to keep this like under 12. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helped. I kind of gave you like a very long overview about how I got my job, but the main point of this video is basically to emphasize that your network is the most important thing in getting a job. And like I'm a self-proclaimed not great software engineer. Like, I'm good. I can do what I need to do. But I'm not somebody who like just lives in solving algorithms and equations and data science. Like, that's not me. I fully admit that. But I'm good enough to do the work that I need to do. And my network allows me to meet people who will allow me to do that work for them. Work on your network. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was a little bit useful for some people who are looking to get their first job. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm an open book. Talk to me in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Tabs. Peace.